Look it. Skip the intro. We back with some more. Look it. So far, I'm still confused. All right, but we need to get down to the bottom of this. I need to know who right, who wrong. Let's get into it.
Because if you tell me something and we know it's wrong, but you're going to pin that on somebody else, is that right?
No, it's not right.
And what would your Aunt Mary do?
I think she gonna tell.
You're not answering my question. What would your Aunt Mary do?
Well, she gonna tell it because you gonna tell anything anyway. So they probably know not to tell her.
But that's why you love Aunt Mary, because Aunt Mary kept it in check.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't want to tell her,
right,
she was gonna tell that baby, you know that's not your daddy.
Right.
We're not gonna play like that. You love Aunt Mary.
I do. The uniqueness of your name, M-O hyphen. Most of the time, Monique is a singular. It's not M-O hyphen. What was that like? Because people say, oh, you trying to be different. You trying to be bougie. You know real well you spell your name Monique like everybody else spells Monique.
I do. That's my stage name. When I'm not on stage, my name is M-O-N-I-Q-U-E. When I'm on stage, it's M-O, the little hyphen, N-I-Q-U-E. That's just entertainment.
Did you ever think about changing it to the hyphen?
No. On stage is one person. Off stage is somebody different.
Okay.
And sometimes we get the two mixed up.
Right.
On stage, I am an entertainer.
Right.
Off stage, I'm a wife. I'm a mommy. I'm a friend. I'm a sister. I'm these different people. But I keep that stage on the stage.
How much of stage is actually Monique?
That's good, Shay. That's good. All of the stage is Monique, but there are certain things Monique's gonna say on stage
that she ain't gonna say off
the stage.
Okay.
There are certain things on that stage. You know, there have been people that said, "Oh, she cussed so much." Oh, I'm a performer. I'm an entertainer, and I'm on stage. But no one will ever find an interview of me doing what I do on stage in an interview like I'm having with you. It's two different things.
Right. What type of student was Monique? I read that you were in, I don't know if this is the correct way, but you were in the class that...
The slower one.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you had a couple...
Say it, baby, now. I want you to spell it out.
How about this here?
Hey.
You got 2 naps. You had 2 recesses.
Okay.
You stayed in the same class.
Okay, but I did not wear a helmet.
Okay.
Now, since you want to go there, I did not have to wear that helmet, baby.
So,
yes.
Mon, as I sit here with you today, you didn't all of a sudden become this advanced. Why were you in that class?
I'm not going to play with you, Shannon. Okay, some of them damn words Cat was using, I was like, what? I said...
Because Cat Williams, he said he was reading 3,000 books in a year. Nigga's the fastest reader ever. You got to give him credit. He's the fastest reader.
Socking it to him. You know, I never connected with school because I always felt like it wasn't adding up.
Okay.
So when you're trying to teach me about the Boston Tea Party, but people that look like me is at the bottom of the boat, I can't connect to what you're saying.
I don't believe nothing that you're saying.
Because I always felt like something was off. When they were teaching me about history, we were always the
slaves.
Savages, and we were always the bad people.
Yeah.
And then you saw these white people be all the heroes. And as a little girl, I said, something's not adding up. So
do you think that's the reason why most kids don't like school? Because they always preaching about like the bad, like most blacks don't like school. It's because they always teaching about the bad instead of the good that the blacks did. Like, if you feel like if they changed the whole format of schooling and teaching and learning, you feel like we will have like a better success rate? Think about it.
At that as a bad thing. I just didn't connect with it. It made no sense to me.
So you never had a problem with the learning, but the disconnect was what they was teaching and what you actually saw. You like, what you teaching me is not what I actually see.
You know what, Shannon? It's a combination.
Okay.
It was a combination, okay? I wasn't grasping it and I didn't believe it. So
okay.
It's a combination. And when you have a child that is full of energy and is sitting in a classroom that is closed in all day long and you're trying to tell me all that I'm not. It just did not add up to me.
Wasn't making sense.
It just did not make sense to me.
Okay.
So There's no shame to it. When people say, was you in the soul class? Yeah. You know, we colored.
So when you
Hey, baby, we colored. But don't overlook what you don't think is the package supposed to be.
right.
See, again, we come back to the messenger. Nobody thought that I would be. And I'll go to my family. Like, nobody thought, not the fat one. She's not going to be the one. Not her. So I've been...
I think that's like very troubling, and that's probably why she didn't really care for school, because like it was like no one around her that really believed in her, that really cared to see her do anything. The fact that she said not the fat one is doing this, not the fat one is doing that, it was just like they already had their doubts in her.
been used to people doubting
Okay.
and counting me out. And for me, as that little girl, it's like one day, and that one day is right here.
Even your family. So how was your family? How was your brothers and sisters? Because I mean, look, we joke. I mean, I got a brother and sister, and you know, we joke with each other, and I can imagine if the situation were if one of us was in those class, we gonna get them jokes off, Monique. It is what it is.
No one paid enough attention.
Really?
Like, no one paid enough attention, because though we lived in a household together, we were very individual. So no one even paid attention to what was really going on, and to include my parents. And that's not a victim story. That's not, oh, what was me. It's just what it was. So it wasn't like, oh, you dummy. The jokes were always fat. They were always fat.
It makes sense if they was always fat. It makes sense why she always came out and said, "Yeah, I'm fat, and I'm proud" type shit, because she was already hearing that as a kid. And then, but then it's like, well, if this was hurting you, she ain't say it, but if it was hurting her, why she never want to correct herself, or like try to do more or be more, you know what I'm saying, to want to lose that weight? Like, I feel like we started seeing her lose weight like when the lockdown. Like, why now? Like, what was the thought process to make her want to change?
Well, okay, so I'm so used to that. But
Are you the only one in your family that's
baby, the only one that sneaks snacks. I'm the only one that'll sneak them damn snacks, Shannon. I'm the only one. Yes.
So what would you say your relationship then and now was with your family?
Well, my relationship now with my family, they're my biological family.
Okay.
And I wish them well.
It don't sound like she talked to
Here's
them.
the thing. I watched you do, and I think it was like a little clip, and they were talking about interracial dating.
Yes.
And you said, why would somebody stay where they're miserable?
Right.
That applies everywhere, Shannon.
Okay.
It just doesn't apply to that, especially in our community. We've been taught, take care of your family, make sure. Well, there are some families that deserve it.
And some families
there are some
don't
families
know.
that you have to say, listen, I'm so glad we had this time together. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's where I am with mine. I wish all of them the best. But
Okay.
that's what it is. Yeah. So even as I sit here with you now, with all that's going on in Hollywood and all of the stuff I had to go through, I've already been through it with people that you call your family. And I have to say, you know what? That has
Time
to
is
just
up. The
wash
jig is
off
up.
when I know what I'm standing in and what I'm standing on.
You're absolutely right, Monique. My grandmother used to always tell us, she'd say, son, teeth and tongue may fall out, but family never should. And she stood on that. No matter what
Okay.
transpired in the family, no matter how bad someone had treated you, you should never fall out. But hearing you say that's different, because just because we're blood, that doesn't mean we're family through blood. But sometimes it's somebody on the outside that's not blood, that's actually closer family
Yes.
than the actual biological.
We've been taught to say trauma is okay. We've been taught to say you mistreated me, you abused me, you violated me, you disrespected me, you belittled me, but I'm supposed to look at you at Thanksgiving and say, how you doing, Unc? That's what we've been taught. You swallow that pain. That's why people have such a problem with Cat Williams. People have a problem with people that says, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. And that causes a ruckus. And you would say, why are people upset with the truth? When you hear Steve Harvey say, there are repercussions when you tell the truth. Well, remember when we were children? What would your grandmother tell you?
Snitches get
Tell the
stitches.
truth.
Tell the truth,
Oh.
because if not, there will be what? Repercussions.
Right.
Well, now it's got turned around. When you tell the truth, there'll be repercussions. So what's the opposite of that? Should I tell a lie
Hell
and get a
yeah.
reward?
That's
So
basically what I
that's
got
how
from
we're
it.
rolling right now. That's how we're dealing with one another right now. So when it comes to family and people saying, "Oh, Monique, how could you?" Listen, I want to live the rest of this journey that I have in peace. I want to be with my family, in love with my man, he in love with me. We watch our babies grow and develop their own families. I don't need anything in the midst of that, because you family that I should accept that trauma. I should accept you not taking accountability for what you've done, what you've said, and we just washed the slate. That's why we're in the position we are now as a community, as a black community, as a community in entertainment. Everybody's been so afraid to say, look what they did to me. Look what they said. And it's like, oh, well, listen now, we don't want to ruffle no feathers, especially if the messenger doesn't fit what people should think the messenger is supposed to look like.
Right.
And we keep repeating history, Shane.
Keep repeating the
Is it a
same
situation,
cycle.
Monique, where people look and say, well, you made it thus far when it couldn't have been that bad? Because if it has been as bad as you say it is, Monique, how would you have ever gotten out of B-More? How would you have ever gotten into Hollywood?
Yeah, and then how was she able to read these scripts if she wasn't a good reader and she didn't like school? We need answers. I feel like she lying to me.
How would you ever have a talk show? How would you ever be on a sitcom? So how is it that bad, Monique, and you end up like this?
You know when you first got in the NFL?
Yes, ma'am.
Your eyes were like this.
Yes.
And it was, oh, I made it. I'm here.
Right.
And then after you start getting in it and you started seeing things and you started feeling things and now your eyes start getting a little closer, because now
Okay.
you're understanding
And
what the
realizing.
business is.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you first walk through the door, you're walking through the door saying, come on, baby. Oh, this is all I've ever prayed for. And when my baby Cat Williams sat here and said, no one's ever gone out to LA and got a sitcom like that. I was in LA for 3 months. And here comes a show called The Parkers. And there we go from there. It took off from there. So I think that
Hold up. She said she was here for 3 months and she got a show. What was she doing? What'd she do? What did she do? We need answers. Who was the showrunner behind that show? Y'all believe she ain't do nothing? She's 3 months. Let's go to LA. 3 months. Like, where the thought process for LA? How you get a show? Who did you know? Was she like, who was she? She just said she got to LA and in 3 months. Like, who was she? Like, what was she doing? We gotta question this.
when people say, if it was so bad, you mature. You begin to understand what you're dealing with.
Right.
You begin to understand what you're in the midst of. And once you understand it, it's when you can speak on it.
Right.
But before you really know what you're looking at, how do you speak on that?
Right.
Because when you first walk in the door of Hollywood, you have everybody telling you, oh my goodness, you're going to be amazing.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
They was
this
lying,
is gonna be
gassing you up, huh?
incredible. Well, that's all you know.
That is all you know.
Yes.
But you're so happy to be here,
Yes.
and you're like, okay.
When I listen to your story, you say dirt poor,
Yes.
bathroom outside.
Yes.
It was, we had to make it work however we can make it work.
Correct.
And then you get that first big check.
Yes.
And you think the people that gave it to you is awesome because they gave it to you. And
Okay.
it's more money than you've ever seen before.
Correct.
Until you find out
It wasn't
this
that
ain't
money.
the right money.
It was
This
bad
ain't the
money.
right amount. Wait a minute. If they got this, why am I getting this? Then you start putting the
But when did she learn this? When did she learn that this wasn't the right money? Because like what? The Parkers probably had like what? 5 to 6 seasons. So it was good money. And then when did it becomes a shift? When do it become a ship? I need the answers, like, because if you said it started off as good money, but over time you realized that other people was getting paid more than you. When did you realize that? When it was all said and done, like when they said, yo, we no longer want to do this show, then you realizing that people was getting paid more than you?
Is together, and you start saying it's not right, and I'm going to speak about it. See, when I saw Taraji broken
Okay.
on those platforms, it was painful to watch.
But you ain't say nothing.
However, Taraji and I had a conversation over a decade ago.
Yes.
In my trailer when I was doing the Monique show. And she said, you know, you got to keep on getting it until your turn comes. And I said, Taraji, most of us die before our turn comes.
Okay.
We got to ask for it right now. Now, I understand that because there was a time I felt the same way.
Exactly.
Because that's what I was told.
Right.
You just keep going and we'll get them the next time. We'll get them the next time. We'll get them the next time. And the next time never
came.
comes.
Okay.
And then you see our sister broken, sitting on those platforms. Now, when I said it,
You was bitter.
Why didn't they get the traction when you said it?
When did she said it?
When she said it, now all of a sudden everybody is coming, and I don't have a problem. I'm glad.
Yes.
But if you said this a decade ago, and I remember you saying it over a decade ago, why didn't they get the traction? Why didn't they get the support? Why wasn't it propped up when Monique said it?
Like, I remember when she was saying, when she had that whole beef with Oprah and Tyler Perry. I remember that, but I'm talking about, like, before that, we didn't hear her say nothing. Before that, so it was just like, so the money was good up until you felt like you wanted more? Like you didn't feel like you wanted more in the beginning? She ain't being truthful. She ain't being honest with us. She ain't being honest with us. She's lying. In my opinion.